And joining me now for more on the big elections yesterday is political columnist and analyst Ellis Henican from Newsday. Ellis, thanks so much for being here.
Good morning. Welcome to the first day of the Christie presidential campaign.
Is that what today is?
That's what's happening.
Well, let's start with talking about Christie. I want to take a look at the demographic breakdown of his win. So he won among both men and women. He got 21% of the African-American vote. Now, that's double the percentage from 2009. He won a majority of the Hispanic vote, and he won every education level and income group. Also, 32% of the Democratic vote and 66% of independents and 61% of moderates. How does a Republican in a blue state make this happen?
And you have to add, in the state of New Jersey.
Exactly.
Right? I mean, that's what makes it so amazing. Well, listen, he had a message that was different from the message that many other Republicans are delivering right now. It was an open message, an inclusive message, and a message that said, listen, I believe in things, but I'm willing to work with other people to make good stuff happen. And you know what? It sold.
But it's not like he shapeshifted. He didn't moderate on any of the issues. He is still anti-abortion, anti-same-sex marriage, fiscal conservative, but yet he was able to appeal to people in the middle. So what can the GOP learn from this? Well,
personality matters. That's one thing. If you spend your whole time telling people no and narrow and you're not welcome here, that's not a way to broaden a party. But if you have a personality that's big, and I don't just mean that in a physical sense, but a big, loud, commanding, charismatic personality, sometimes that'll get people to vote for you who may not even agree with you about everything.
Now, when it comes to his opponent, Barbara Buono, the big guns in the Democratic Party offered virtually no support to her. Why didn't they put up more of a fight to someone who they know could be a formidable candidate in 2016?
In hindsight, it was a mistake, because you're absolutely right. This gives a big green light to Christie, who may be the most effective Republican candidate in 2016. I think looking back on it, a bunch of Democrats are going to kick him themselves. They will remember an example from a few years ago. George W. Bush, big victory, re-election, governor of Texas, and then using that to go on to a presidential success.
Now let's take a quick look at Virginia. Now the challenge politically is always how to appeal to your base without alienating the middle, and that was something that Cuccinelli couldn't do. He was appealing to his base, but he did not appeal so much to the middle. So what can the GOP learn from this race?
Well, clearly last night, the Christie example worked a whole lot better than the Ken Cuccinelli example, right? And you notice in the last days, look at the people that he brought in to campaign for him. It was super conservative senators. It was Rand Paul.
He was doubling down on that base.
Exactly. His theory was you have to get the faithful out to the polls. And the faithful did turn out for him, but there just weren't enough of them, even in a southern state like Virginia.
So then what does that tell us about the strength of the Tea Party right now?
Well, it was not a great night for the Tea Party. Now you do have to say Dems did not romp in Virginia. They didn't kill Cuccinelli. So you know, maybe they can say, well, we do still have our base here. But if you're given a choice as a Republican, which path do you follow? That Christie more open and inclusive approach, or that narrower Tea Party just play to the base approach? Last night's lesson: go with the moderates.
And I want to turn quickly to the issue of gay rights. You know, last night was also a big night for gay rights because the state legislature in Indiana approved a same-sex marriage bill there, in Illinois rather, approved a same-sex marriage bill there. So what does this say? You know, we have this big bill that's in the Senate right now, ending workplace discrimination against gays. Where do you think that's going to go? Because Speaker Boehner has indicated he probably won't bring it to a vote.
But, Mara, it's inevitable. History is on the side of this. Most Americans at this point think, let those people have their lives. They may live differently from someone else, but what do you want to do? You're going to keep their rights away from them? You're going to not let them love people the way that straight folks do? Honestly, I think we've reached the tipping point of this, and it really is just a matter of time. And probably not too much time before those numbers aren't 14 states and 15 states, but 25 and 35. It's pretty inevitable at this point. Don't you feel that?
Yeah, you definitely feel that momentum shifting. Ellis Henican, thanks so much for your time this morning.
Great to be with you. Good morning.